Say recording.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Yep. Can I stay up here?
No.
Oh.
Nice try, though. All right, ready?
No.
Who's going?
I'm going to start reading.
Oh, yeah.
So Jan, this is Kelsey, and we have Tiffany, Michael, and Faith, and Matt is missing today. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So the title of the story is called Magic Markers and Secret Signals. So it's kind of an interesting title. The words magic and secret make me want to read to find out more. How about you guys?
I'm confused. I don't have it on.
Oh, it's the second page.
Oh, okay.
Second page with the ants. Okay? All right, so we're talking about magic markers and secret signals. So if you look at the picture, it's a picture of,
Fireflies.
No, it's
Ants.
ants.
oh, this one. Look at this picture.
Ants.
Right below the title.
Yeah, it looks like a
Clown?
cookie.
Yeah, don't look at that one yet. Okay, so the caption reads, "Fire ants follow a chemical trail." That makes me think we'll read about ants.
And chemicals.
All right, let's see. Don't drop crumbs on the floor, you've probably been told. Crumbs attract ants. It certainly seems that way. If one ant finds cookie crumbs on the kitchen floor, soon there's a whole line of ants carting crumbs away. How did that first ant tell the others to come and get it? So did you notice how the author, her name's Marjorie Backlund, started us off here? She talks directly to us. You've probably been told. And then she asks us a question. She's trying to get our attention and make us interested. Did that work for you? Do you ever wonder that with the ants? Like how they know where the food is? Because like, usually there's like a couple on the floor, and then all of a sudden there's like tons. Yeah, you've never
And
like,
they have like those little things that want to kill them and they don't
Right.
want them.
right, so that's what she's kind of talking about, right? Like usually you only see a couple, but all of a sudden there's like a bunch of them. So she's like, haven't you ever wondered why that happens? So that's what she's going to talk about. The first ant was out searching for food when the worker ants are always female, found some. She put down an invisible trail, a path of chemicals that only ants from the finder's ant nest could follow. These chemical signals are called pheromones. So what's all this about pheromones and food? An invisible trail and a path of chemicals? So what's happened here is the worker ant finds food, right? And then what happens?
Female ant leaves pheromones behind.
Okay, good. And why did she leave the pheromones? To do what?
So other ants can find it and follow it.
Right, follow the pheromone, follow the trail, right? Too? Okay. More food, right. Pheromones work in the dark, underground or underwater. Almost nothing stands in their way. Some last only a few minutes, others last hours, days, or even weeks. Some pheromones send alarms that warn of danger, some are left by animals looking for mates, and some are trail markers. Each species of animal has its own personal pheromone. For example, a carpenter ant cannot follow the trail of a fire ant or a black household ant. So the author gives us a lot of information about pheromones here. So what did we find out about them?
That they
Fire
are
ants are fire.
follow and that you can't use with other species.
All right, good. What were you going to say? They have to stick with their own species. They can only find the trail for their species. What else?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that they can't follow like fire ants and.
It stays for a long time.
You can stay for a long time. All right, anything else unique about those pheromones? So not only is time, not really, they'll last for a long time, but what else?
It can stand for different things.
Different things, like what?
Like signals for
Excuse me,
good and
interruption,
bad
please.
things like
Relay for Life will not be
Fires.
meeting today.
the stuff.
Relay for Life will not be meeting today.
It could work for the whole marches. Like how long it stays. It can work in the dark and underground or underwater.
All right, good. All right, on her way back to the nest, the ant that found the crumbs stopped every few inches to touch the tip of her abdomen to the ground to leave a drop of pheromone. The The other worker ants could smell or taste the chemical and followed the trail to the food. As each ant returned to the nest, she also left drops of the chemical message. So the author took us aside here to tell us about pheromones. Then she brought us back to the worker ant. So we know from what we read earlier that the worker ant that found the crumb left a chemical trail, right? So what did we find out from this part? So how is this paragraph different than the one before?
It's telling you that the ants leave chemicals after, like, tasting the food or whatever.
Okay. Does it tell us anything else?
The worker ant touching the tip of her abdomen to the ground to leave the pheromones.
All right, good. All right, let's move along here. Let's take a look back at page 7. So that is this one right here with the title at the top. Sorry. I know, it's kind of goofy. All right, so let's take a look at this illustration. What part of the ant do you think the abdomen is?
Them little tweezer things by the base.
I like that.
You disagree, Michael? Where do you think the abdomen is?
Right here, the big part.
The big butt thingy on the back.
All right, good. What do the other worker ants have to do to pick up the pheromone trail that's left?
Taste it or smell it?
All right, good. And does anyone know how ants smell or taste?
No.
With those trees.
Oh, I thought you guys just called it taste. I was like, I have no idea.
Is it them tweezer things?
The tweezer things,
Like
feelers,
the face?
the feelers, and then what
Yeah.
else? What are those things up here?
That's what
Yeah,
I
like,
was saying.
like these
And
Yes, good. All right, turn back to page 8. You guys are going to be a fun group. All right, so if a fire ant finds a bit of food too big to carry, she walks slowly back to the nest to get help. Every few inches along the way, her stinger appears from the end of her abdomen, and she draws the tip of that stinger lightly over the ground. As she does, the pheromone flows down from a small sac called Dufour's gland. The amount of pheromone she leaves is also part of the message. The better the new food supply is, the more pheromone she deposits. So we find out more about the pheromone trail in this part. So what do we find out about pheromones?
Maybe just a little, point thingy, a little sting or whatever.
Okay.
And then Dufour's gland.
For where the pheromone comes from.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else? There's one more thing we learned.
They can't pick up heavy enough little crumbs that it goes back to get help.
Okay. Does that really tell us more about pheromones?
Yeah.
There's one more thing they tell us about pheromones that's really important. So they tell us where it comes from.
Yeah, this.
Comes from this, all right. And then,
Yeah.
what about how much pheromone?
If it's
The food part? Like the food supply?
What about the food supply?
If
The more pheromones she
there's more of the
The
pheromone
better the
chain.
new food supply is, the more pheromone she deposits.
Okay, good. So, yeah, there's a lot of food that she's going to drop a lot of pheromones, right? So what do you think pheromones look like?
Nothing.
liquid,
I think it's liquid.
I don't
yes,
think it looks like anything. 'Cause
Like
if they
gel.
Can't,
clear.
if they can't
Gel.
see.
Clear.
like a little
If
gel.
So liquid, gel, clear. The author has given us lots of information about them, but she doesn't say exactly what they are, they being the pheromones. So what do you think they're like? So we think clear, gel,
I don't
Jelly.
think there's anything to it.
no.
Because if there's something to it, then how wouldn't we see it?
It's clear,
Yeah.
squishy gel.
All right, so we read about the ant and how the ant found the crumbs, and we also read about pheromones and how they leave a trail of pheromones. But what does all of this have to do with communication, do you think?
So
Plus
she
the other
can
ants
help
could probably sense it.
Okay.
Smell it. Probably taste it.
Well, it said they taste it.
Yeah, it does. No, it does, yeah. What do you think has to do with communication? This whole pheromones and food thing, like what do you think it has to do with communication?
I don't know.
Do you think
Probably.
anything?
Probably different kind of pheromones they have.
So do you think there'll be different kinds of pheromones?
Pheromones.
All right, well, let's keep reading and see. All right, so along with the pheromone that marks a trail to food, ants have a pheromone that can send a chemical alarm to warn of danger, and another to signal death. When an ant dies, its body releases a pheromone that tells the worker ants to pick up the dead body and dump it on the garbage pile outside the nest.
That's pretty good.
See, they can probably sense it.
Well, it
Or
smells
smell it.
terrible because it's dead.
They just said it smelled, yes. To test this behavior, sometimes some scientists painted live ants with the death pheromone. Sure enough, the worker ants picked up the painted ants and dumped them outside. When the dead painted ants, who were really alive and well, hurried back to the nest, they were picked up and tossed on the pile again and again. Even though the worker ants must have seen and felt the struggles of the live ants, they were programmed to follow the chemical message that told them to get those dead ants out of there. So now we found out some other information about pheromones. So what's this part all about? Well,
So basically, their friend is into a garbage dead. Sounds splendid.
yeah, it does sound splendid. What do we learn about pheromones?
That probably they smell each other after they die. Because they stink.
Okay, so if we go back to the text, can you point to me, or point to the spot where you got that answer from?
Right there, when an ant dies.
That's your middle finger.
I'm sorry. When an ant dies, its body releases pheromone that tells worker ants to pick up the dead body and dump it into the garbage pile. outside
Okay,
the nest.
good.
What is
All right,
this
so-
garbage pile?
Well, they're
Garbage
just,
pile.
well, they were just talking, think about an anthill, I would assume, right? And then how it takes it
So
out of
that-
the anthill,
That would
just dump it outside.
that pile.
Yep, outside's the dead body.
Outside, yeah.
It's the garbage.
All right, so there's a death pheromone. Is there any other kind of pheromone that they talked about in this section?
The chemical.
Death
I think I saw one more. It's right in the beginning. So what is the other pheromone they were talking about?
Pheromone and food. Danger.
Warn of danger, good. All right, so how did scientists try to find out how these pheromones work? What did they do?
They painted the kind of ants they programmed, and they put the death pheromone from I'm guessing a real ant to the programmed robot.
I think it'd be kind of a fun experiment, wouldn't it? Kind of watch them, keep taking the live ants and dumping them outside the anthill.
That's just wrong.
All right, so if we look down, where was that? I think it was towards the end of the paragraph. What does the author mean when she says that the ants are programmed? What did she mean by that?
Like, they know what they have to do, and they have to do it.
Okay, so there's no choice, is that what you're saying?
It's basically like your mother telling you to go do this.
Taught,
or else
being taught.
Okay.
You're done for.
Could it be just like an instinct too?
That too.
Okay. All right. All right, let's keep going here. Scientists have learned how to kill or catch insects by using an insect's own pheromone instead of pesticides. Male Japanese beetles are lured into traps that have been baited with the female beetle's pheromone. The males can't help themselves. An inborn action or instinct, oh, look at that, makes them follow the chemical signal to find a mate. Mosquitoes, gypsy moths, cockroaches, and many other insects are now caught in traps baited by chemical signals of their own species.
That's just wrong.
Why?
Because they're using a dead beetle to attract another live beetle so it can go throw the other beetle away. I mean, really.
Now, if you had cockroaches, would you care if someone had a trap that
If it was a
had...
cockroach, I wouldn't care.
Oh, okay, so depends on what kind of bug it is.
Exactly.
So in this section, the author puts down, what does she have written here? The males can't help themselves. What does she mean by that?
They
They
want
can't
to
resist.
They can't read this, then what?
I want to make.
Because they want to mate. Right? Especially with animals, right? That's instinct. Like they have to mate so they can, you know, there can be more of them.
Keep the
Like dogs.
Keep the insect going.
Keep the insect going. Alright. Wolves mark the boundaries of their land with pheromones to make sure no other pack moves into that territory.
Isn't that where they pee?
Yes.
Ooh, we'll find out. Oh yeah, here we go. They urinate on trees, shrubs, and rocks.
My dog does that.
All dogs do that.
Another wolf
Kicks the back legs.
Another wolf trotting past gets the pheromone message in the urine as surely as we understand a sign that read, "Keep out." Dogs do the same. A cat rubs its head against furniture and door frames to leave a pheromone that marks the house as its own territory, even though people happen to live there too. Male cats spray a liquid that tells other cats they've been there. It apparently smells good to a female cat, but not an odor people like at all.
That happens at my
Question: Does
house's
anyone have a male cat?
Yeah, that's
I
not.
have.
There's a stray cat that comes into our garage because we have 2 females and he always does that.
My
And
mom
it stinks
always-
really bad. It
Yeah.
takes like a few days to
My
get
cat
out.
used to pee all over my clothes. It was gross.
That's the worst smell.
That's awesome.
It was in my closet.
All the big cats, lions, tigers, cheetahs, jaguars, mountain lions, leave chemical messages to mark their territory too. On summer nights, did I miss something?
Yeah.
Beavers
Oh.
leave their blobs of mud.
Oh, you know what, my page is messed up, sorry.
I don't even think that's kind of
Okay.
Red beavers.
Beavers leave
leave
their
their
pheromone.
Oh yeah, alright, sorry. Alright, beavers leave their pheromone on plops of mud that one naturalist calls mud pie telegrams. One sniff and other beavers can read the messages from these markers. Darting through fields and woods, deer might easily get separated from one another, but they stay in touch with pheromone signs. The black-tailed deer, for example, leaves a message whenever it lies down or rubs its head against a tree. The pheromones are made by glands on the deer's hind legs, on its tail, between its hooves, and on its forehead. A fawn can find its mother, a male can find a female, and a stray deer can find the herd by sniffing these chemical signals. So lots of information in that long section, but what do you think the most important ideas are?
Chemical signals.
Chemical signals? Why do you say that?
Because I was about the whole thing.
That's what the whole thing's been about so far, okay?
I think it's the liquids that they spray,
The pheromone.
About the pheromones, okay?
especially with cats.
That was beautiful.
So what kind of animals or creatures are we talking about in the beginning of this section?
Wolves.
Well, not just this section, but this whole piece, this whole text. We
Um,
started off with what?
Ants.
Ants, okay? And then we went into what?
Wolves. I believe.
Or
no,
insects.
ants and then beetles
Other insects, yep.
and then cats. I
And then-
think.
Right.
Wolves.
Wolves.
So why do you think the author went into detail about all these different types of animals?
They all do the same thing.
They all do the same thing, which is what?
Leave their pheromone.
Leave their pheromone to
everywhere.
Mark their territory.
mark their territories, and what else?
And danger.
Let them know where they are.
Well, with the ants, if they die, then
Okay,
It's thrown out of the
so what can we maybe, like, if all those things were to fit inside of an umbrella, so they use it to find a mate, mark their territory, so what is the big picture like with the umbrella idea? What would that be? What could we, like, put one heading that would kind of encompass all of those things underneath? They're using pheromones to what?
mate and
Mate is just an
mark
example.
their territory.
That's an example.
send signals.
Send signals, which would, yes. Good. All right. So I want you to take a look at this text right here. So you guys see that gap right there, that white space in between the two paragraphs?
Yes.
That's a cue from the author that we're going to look into a different topic now. Did you guys know that's why those spaces were there before?
No.
Usually it looks like a little like a star or
Right.
something.
All right, good. Yeah, so right here, though, this is just letting us know different topic we're going to switch into right now. So just so you can get your brain ready that you're going to approach something different. So let's see what that is. All right, not all chemical messages are invisible, however. and not all chemical messages are relayed by pheromones. So some animals are bioluminescent. Bio meaning life, and luminescent means lighting up. So a bioluminescent creature is actually a living light.
It's like a firefly.
Okay, so what is the word again?
Bioluminescent.
Good. There's going to be another word coming up. If you look down, luciferin.
Yep.
Luciferin, okay?
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, well, we'll find out what it is. On summer nights, right? Or am I missing? Oh, some animals are bioluminescent. Oh, I already said that, right? Lighting up.
Yeah.
So bioluminescent creature is actually a living light. On summer nights, fireflies blink their signals. Sometimes called lightning bugs, fireflies are actually beetles. The light which glows through a window in the rear segment of the firefly's abdomen is made from a substance called luciferin. So what kind of communication are we talking about here?
Light.
Right, light, good.
I have a question.
Yep.
Can I use the bathroom?
You really have to go right this
Yeah.
second.
I've been waiting for like
You should pause it.
I don't think we can pause
13
the tape
minutes.
recorder.
All right, we'll pause it real quick.
You can pause that.